think this would have happened with Black Lives Matters protesters.
Let me tell you something. We don't have to even go there. If these insurrectionists were black, they would have been shot in the face. And my God, if these insurrectionists were Muslim, they would have been sniped from the top of buildings. So I want to know from the Capitol Hill police, what is it? Is it just white people? Or is it Donald Trump supporters? Why do you scream at people for walking across the street 3 blocks away from the Capitol? Why are you known as badasses around the Capitol? But then Trump supporters come in and you open the fucking doors for them. You open the doors for them and let them breach the people's house. What is wrong with you?
Mike Pence faithfully fulfilled the duty assigned to any vice president to count the votes and declare the winner. To those who would wish that the Vice President of the United States could send electoral votes back to the states because they believe fraud was involved, be careful what you wish for. Do you really believe it's good in America for a single person to have that power? Do you think the 12th Amendment gives that power? Absolutely not. So what's so disappointing to me is that people who have prided themselves on being constitutional conservatives were pushing this bizarre theory. So I just want every Republican to know that in my view, limited government applies when you don't like the outcome just as much as when limited government applies and you do like the outcome. The Constitution needs to be followed as written, even though you wish you could do something the Constitution does not allow to get your way. That's the very essence of activism. To those who were pushing the idea that Vice President Pence had the power to unilaterally set aside certified electoral votes from a single state or send them back, you have cheapened the idea of constitutional conservatism.
Hey, my IBMOR brothers, back again. You know what? This is a article I'm going to read. I'm wondering why it had to come to this. I really am, because this could have been done in a more professional fashion, and it wasn't. And I, normally expect people that should know better, that are actually running this country, should know better in how to act like adults and not like spoiled children. What I said about Trump was probably accurate, that he's probably the president that we deserve instead of the one that we need. Anyway, let me read this article. Trump pledges orderly transition after riot and Biden wins certification. President Donald Trump publicly acknowledged that he would leave office on January 20th for the first time Thursday, pledging an orderly transfer of power after Congress affirmed President-elect Joe Biden's Electoral College win. Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th, Trump said in the statement, repeating false claims he has made throughout the last 2 months. I have always said we would continue our fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again. All right, there's the MAGA. Trump, who has refused to concede the election, had on Wednesday egged on supporters who would later storm the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to stop lawmakers from counting the electoral votes. The riot left 4 people dead. 1 woman was shot and 3 others had medical emergencies, according to police, and left some in Trump's cabinet holding preliminary talks about invoking the 25th Amendment to remove him from office, according to a well-placed GOP source. Misrepresentations that incensed the crowd, Trump returned to the White House to watch a violent crescendo to his constant spreading of misinformation about the electoral process. The mob broke into the Capitol, stormed both the House and Senate floor, and Trump supporters could be seen lounging in House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office. Wow. A woman was shot and killed in the chaos. Police have yet to release more details about her death. Republicans and Democrats alike condemned the rioters for breaching the U.S. Capitol, and several lawmakers blamed Trump for the violence that broke out that delayed the certification of Biden's victory for several hours. In remarks Wednesday afternoon, Biden called on Trump to appear on national television to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege. Trump did not say in his statement whether he plans to attend the inauguration of Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on January 20th. So it came to this. It took a riot, protesters breaking into the House of Congress and being disorderly, which is something that has never been done before. And if they were black, there'd have been a whole lot of dead black folks, okay? And it took the patience of the Capitol Police to allow that stuff without more people getting killed. He could have got a lot of people hurt, a lot of people killed by doing that. And you're supposed to be the president of the United States that's supposed to do what? Uphold the law and order and the Constitution of the United States. And you treat this like a kid's game. Now, what if Pence had, and it was Pence that called out the National Guard to actually break this stuff up. What if they had invoked like the Secret Service or invoked like the National Guard to come and actually break up this protest? And they had done it when the National Guard was actually there. There'd been a whole lot more people dead. You broke down the House of Congress carrying weapons. And fortunately, you're citizens and you're white. Now, you think that these congressional people are going to forget about what was just done? These people have not gotten off, and you got these people in trouble committing federal crimes. You think that the judges are going to look kindly on these people and let them go? And you claim these are the people that you care about. You claim this is the country that you care about. And this is how reckless you are. What if those protesters have gotten to one of these congressmen or senators and hurt them or killed them? Or they had gotten in before and actually had running gun battles with the lawmakers, with you inciting them like this. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, left, right, center, conservative, whatever it is. This is not okay, especially for people that claim that they're conservative, especially about law and order. It's not the way you handle things. This is not funny, especially during a time where these people need to make decisions on whether they're going to feed people or not. How are they going to get this economy back flowing? This is not okay. Now, if you have an election, the election goes down the way that is prescribed to go down. You have a problem with it. That's what they have the courts for. You lose in court. That's it. You carry it up to the Supreme Court, and you lose there. That's it. At the end of the day, guess what Governor Pence did? That Vice President Pence did. He called in the National Guard. It had gotten too far. Your own people were actually going to have you basically thrown out of office. You're president of the damn United States, and you're inciting a riot. We're not talking about the congressman on the corner or the local activist. We're talking about the goddamn president of the United States acting like a freaking kid. It's not okay. This childishness that goes on about this politics is not okay. These wild conspiracy theories is not okay. Even with the COVID thing, man, we have basically triage going on in Los Angeles, where if it looks like you're not going to make it on COVID, you have COVID, you're not going to make it, they're going to let you die. They're going to let you die. We've ran out of oxygen in Los Angeles. It's not enough to go around. So if you look like you can't make it or you're too far gone, they're going to let you die. That's what it's gotten to. This is not a drill. This is not funny. This is not a cute conspiracy theory. They're almost at 400,000 people dead within 9 months. 500,000 people might seem like a drop in the bucket to you, but for the people that died, it's not. This is not okay. This is not funny. This is not intellectual masturbation. Now, is there legitimate arguments back and forth about voter suppression, voter fraud, computers, and whatever? You can have that argument. You can have that theory. You can have that discussion. But this childish, one-way thinking and this childishness going on that can incite violence, nothing got real till that chick got shot and bled out on the congressional floor. She bled out in the House of Congress. You had people in Congress scattering for their lives because of what was going on. That's not okay. If you don't like the rules, There's laws and procedures to change this stuff. If you don't like the way people vote, change that shit. You can't change it after you finish. You can't change the rules after you don't like the results. That's not the way this country works if you believe in equity and freedom. It's not okay for congressmen to sit up on their podium, on their high horses, to get votes by doing this kind of crap. And it took somebody's blood to actually make them wake up and actually take this stuff seriously. It's not okay. And I've been entertaining this foolishness far too long. You have a country to run. You have people that have to eat. You have people that need housing. You're worried about some knucklehead, I won't call him a knucklehead, he's the president of the United States, that can't accept an L like everybody else before him. You got people getting ready to get dumped out on the street with no place to go. Or people that can't get care and are dying in hospitals. And you're worried about one man? Are you kidding me? You have a whole economic crisis going on all around the globe that could come crashing down on our heads. You're worried about one guy. And this is who you rally behind. A guy who incited a riot in Washington, D.C., who's president of the United States. And you think a civil war is actually going to help you and help your situation. You turn the America into a third world country, and then you're going to say, well, why did we do this? Because you're not thinking. We're acting like children, and that's not okay. One day we're going to grow up. One day it's not going to be a game. Just like those people that tried to break into the House of Congress, and that chick got shot because they didn't think what would happen to them. They thought it was a game because you don't have enough respect for the process for your own country. Sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair, I don't care whether you like her or not. She's the Speaker of the House. And for you to look at it and see what you bring your country down to as President of the United States, they're disrespecting your house, disrespecting your government and your country. And that's okay with you? Really? And you call yourself conservative? Really? Maybe conservative means something that I didn't grow up with, because conservatives actually follow the rule of law, and they accept their L's inside that process. Because if you're not doing that, you're not conserving anything. If you're conservative, that means you take your wins and losses as they come. The rules are what's important, but I guess that doesn't apply anymore. How I feel means more than what the rules actually are, what the structure actually is. This shit should have never happened in Washington, D.C. over this guy. If you want to change the rules, change them. But your country runs by laws. This country runs by the rule of law. You just violated it. The main guy who's supposed to uphold the law and the Constitution actually violated it. And people are cheering him on until your country falls apart. Then it's not okay. Grow up, people. That's all I got to say. Grow up. Take things seriously, okay? If the rule is put in place for a good reason, follow the goddamn thing. If you don't like a rule or a law, work to change it within the framework of your country. That's what it's there for. That's what keeps this whole complex machine running. Order, whether you like it or not. This whole thing is an agreement, not how I feel about it. An agreement is complex, but there's one thing that keeps us fed, keeps our houses warm, and keeps us safe. When you violate that, the whole thing comes down. Acting like children with something like this is not okay. And I'm glad it's over. I'm glad he finally started acting like a freaking adult. Because if you had caused a civil war or an insurrection and the army came out, a couple of million people probably would have been dead. Over what? Because you can't take your loss. Come on, man. Anyway, I'm going to jump off here. This is BG Asada. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.